Nigerians have been reacting to the latest disruption of widespread power supply following Wednesday's incident, which many assumed was the usual collapse of the national power grid. However, the managers of the grid have tried to offer some clarification, saying the blackout this time was caused by the tripping of certain power lines that resulted in a cascaded outage affecting the Lagos, Abuja, and Osogbo axes of the national grid. Energy lawyer and electricity rights advocate Dr. Fodil Mohammed Noah joins us now to discuss the frequent failure of the national power grid and what possible solutions that may be found. Good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us.
Nice having you.
Thank you for being
here. The
here.
stories just keep coming. No matter what the excuse is, the point is Nigerians are unsatisfied with the situation, especially when we're paying for so much. Like Mr. Shabali would say, paying for darkness, more or less. Well, given the recurring issues, would decentralizing the national grid be more effective than attempting to fix the current system?
It appears that we are sounding like a broken record.
Oh, yes.
we plan for this. I did say that long before now. Let me give an example. I did say earlier that grid collapse is not abnormal. It is part of the electricity enterprise. But the frequency in that collapse is what is...
Sorry, when you say it's not abnormal, do you mean by global standards or not
global
abnormal
standard,
for Nigeria?
yeah. Global standard. There was no way that they have 100% electricity supply, nowhere in the world, including America. What they have is that it comes by way of exception, not the rule. In Nigeria, it is the rule.
Yeah.
We are expecting it. Maybe it is going to collapse tomorrow.
Or today?
Anytime. The moment we have a little bit of stability, we're expecting the next point that it will just trip off. There are many things that can cause that. We have said it. In New York in 2019, I'm talking about New York City, in Manhattan, there was outage like this. But believe you me, in 2019, the last time they had it before that 2019 was in 1977. It means that they were about to celebrate 42 years of stability of electricity that one happened. So no country has 100% electricity supply. They can still achieve what we call stability, notwithstanding this collapse one time or the other. But in our own case, we have not got the fundamental principle of the concept of electricity in Nigeria. That was where we got it off. And if we spend the entire budget of Nigeria to fix the power sector as it is, it is as if we are just putting money in the black hole.
Well, given the recurring nature of grid failures, what role does regulatory oversight play in ensuring compliance with maintenance as well as operational standards within the power sector? Because some will also attribute this to the internal dynamics within the transmission and power sector.
The fundamental still remains unattended to. It is too big for federal government to centralize the management of electricity power. That's not the concept we have in the constitution we have. That's not the concept. The distribution side of the power value chain should be given to the state. And I am pleased to tell you that in Lagos State, they have started the journey. Getting to power stability in Nigeria is not a sprint. It is a marathon. What we are saying that let us start now. Electricity will not come like a strike of thunder. We will work for it. We will apply commitment, dedication, and discipline from all angles. But as it is, we have not started the journey. That is the most worrying thing. Federal government as the central regulator has very little role to play compared to the states. The states have the bulk of the responsibility to take over their own side of the power valuation, which is distribution network. We may not need, in the long run, the transmission network that we have at Oshogbo or anywhere else. We will not need it. And it is embarrassing that we are having national blackout, even where they are fighting war in Ukraine. Because when you have light, it is not to the benefit of your enemy when you are fighting war. They will go at the heart of your power. It is happening in Nigeria also. The Boko Haram, the bandits are doing the same here when they were being hit. So please, we need to decentralize. We need to do it as early as yesterday. And the next time we need to do it is now. We should not postpone the evil day. Let's deal with that first, and we can talk about the rest later.
All right, you made it clear that we've not started this journey to stable power supply.
No, we have not started.
And when we look at the Electricity Act of 2023, it allows states to generate and distribute power as we're fully aware of. Are there any legal barriers that are preventing states from moving ahead with this, or what other barriers might there be?
Thank you. You mentioned Electricity Act of 2023. I can safely tell you that we have up to 8 provisions of that act that will continue to create barriers for the state. We have Section 34, Section 63, Section 68, Section 113, Section 114, Section 115, Section 226. Section 115, 116, and Section 226. All those provisions will never allow the state to move as far as they need to.
Why is that?
Okay. For instance, in Section 34, Section 34 of the Electricity Act says that the states are not allowed to collaborate in electricity management. And that is against the Constitution. Because they need to collaborate. Those contiguous states can come together to collaborate to give each other or one another light. For instance, Lagos State has started, as I said. They are on that journey towards stable electricity. They have launched their own electricity market via the Lagos Electricity Law of 2024, signed in December last year. They have started. Ogun State need to take clue. So where there is need to collaborate, they need to. Collaboration itself is residual in the Constitution, not that the Electricity Act will now take away what the Constitution has given the states. That is an example. Another example is that it is high time that we know that states are the ones that have the exclusive preserve to manage their consumers. Those who are using electricity are found in the localities, in the states. So it is not the right of the federal government to manage consumers by fixing tariff. Tariff fixing by the NEC is an abnormal. It is the state that has that right. All the rights relating to consumers, because consumers take electricity from the distribution side of the power value chain. Yeah. And when we talk about distribution side of the power value chain, we are talking about those power lines. We have 415 volts that you see in your neighborhood. We have 11 kV lines. We have 33 kV lines. Those 3 lines belong exclusively to the state. And from those lines, all the consumers, including industry, take power. No industry, as big as they can be, can get their light from the 132 kV line unless they wanted to burn their industry, or 330 kV line for that matter. So all what is called retailing of electricity belong exclusive to the state. And the Act of 2023 cannot, by whatever angle, give a right that it doesn't have. So by the Electricity Act of 2023, it is not the purview of the federal government to now give to the state. It is wrong. They have it already under the 1963 Constitution, 1979 Constitution, as well 1999 Constitution.
Okay, with all the sections and subsections that you've outlined in this, the Electoral Act, telling us how it poses a barrier legally.
A barrier. It's a barrier.
Has there been enough pushback from the states?
The states, it's unfortunate that the states do not even know at all, or maybe they know, they have no courage to push. We have said it, we have written a legal opinion on this, send it to some states. We were invited and we put across our position. This is the right thing to do. Look at an example of Oyo State. Oyo State wanted to do captive power of about, 30 megawatts. They applied to NEC for upward of 1 year. They were unable to get approval. They have gotten it, but it took 1 year to get approval. It is an embarrassment to that state. They don't need approval from NEC to operate in the power sector. It's not that the electricity has now given them that opportunity. No. The Constitution has handed over to them the exclusive right to operate at the distribution network of the power value chain. In fact, the federal government has no say in that area. The federal government does not need to manage tariffs to be fixed for all the states. Likewise, including metering itself. Yes, the federal government can coordinate the arrangement like the mechanics involved, but the electricity marketing, given consumers meters, it is the exclusive preserve of the state. Let us start from that. Let us interrogate this. The problem we have also among the scholars, we are working in silos. Many will say that we need more money. I remember that Adenikiju, Professor Adenikiju is an economist of note in University of Ibadan. Far back 2006, said that it is money that is needed, up to $262 billion. I dare say, if the 100-fold of $262 billion put into the power industry will not get us anything. We are walking towards another darkness for the next 40 years. President Obasanjo, in his book, My Watch, said that when he left as president for 8 years, he said that he now realized that 8 years is not enough to fix the problem in the power sector. I agree with him. He realized after leaving office that 8 years is not enough to fix the problem in the power sector. I'm now saying the way we are running our power sector, 40 years is not enough.
Wow, very, very powerful submissions that you've made there. I want to just quickly touch, because we've touched on decentralizing power generation, just something that I had seen about the development of independent power markets and the construction of 1,000 mini solar grids with the World Bank support. Just one way, kind of like deviating and looking at solar power as a possible solution. I myself, I'm actually not one person that, I'm not on band A or band B. I use solar fully, powers me during the whole day and at night. Do you think that there's something there that we're missing, especially in a country like Nigeria, in a continent like Africa, where solar power is accessible, 16 plus hours of the day? Why is it not something that we're looking at in solving our power problem?
Renewable energy is what you are referring to. It should be a backup, not the main. There is no way we can do away with public utility.
Of course. Talking
about electricity, it is too important a product to be left in the hands of businessmen. We need to fix our public utility. If we do 10,000 megawatts of solar power, we need a road to push it through. Those are the lines. For instance, all the institutions most institutions in Nigeria, roughly about 250, including companies like Dangote, they were on captive power. And they were generating combined together up to 6,500 megawatts. But the entire country was generating less than maybe now. At least in 2019, we generated up to 5,375 megawatts. 5,000 for the entire country. And we have this rule of thumb that says for each 1 million people, you need 1,000 megawatts. Lagos State is about 25 million people or more. We need 25,000 megawatts. When you are still energy poor, how do you talk about all this off-grid? The off-grid itself cannot be piped elsewhere other than the grid, talking about the power lines. So the power lines here were not working well. What we are saying is that let each state takes over its own line that we are talking about. They can be across the 36 states. At least there will be simultaneous investment that will go across rather than one single entity investing in that area. So we need to fix all the areas, not only the off-grid, because the off-grid itself will be put on the grid.
Yeah. All right, Dr. Mohamed Nawai, thank you for giving us the dark truth, no pun intended. We hope that you will do your part to enlighten the states, because you mentioned that it might be a case of ignorance or lack of courage. And it sounds more like it's a case of ignorance. So we hope that you continue to do your part and see how we can help to this fight towards the light. But we'd like to thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Here on Tuesday. Thank you.